I think I always made the comment that once a miller, always a miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good heavens, he's done it again! Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office and we're going to drink them all night.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk, the Rotherham United podcast. We have, get this right, back-to-back wins. 2 wins in a row to talk about. Can you believe it? We're going to pick apart the happenings of Saturday afternoon and how this could mean for the season going forward. Is it a big win? Is it just something that happened? We will pick apart that. All positives today, no negatives and all that nonsense. You know what I mean? We can't be too negative. Mick, how are you?
Oh, mate, I'm livid, honest.
Livid.
I'm livid. Can't tell you. Absolutely beside myself with anger at the fact that we've won again. I just didn't want it to happen. I don't know what to say. I'll try not to be negative.
Yeah. We had the question. We asked people questions, and we're going to start with this one, Mick.
No, we don't want to start with that one.
Yeah, why not?
Go on then.
Can we ask Mick to smile?
I'll already be laughing, let alone smiling. It's difficult. It's difficult to smile when like I say, I'm so angry and cross.
Yeah,
but I'll do my best.
Joy's back with us. How you doing, Joy?
Yeah, I'm all right, apart from made up with cold. It's always the same when you come back off holiday, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Yeah, going around in it, unfortunately. But 3 points I'm sure makes us all feel better, even when there's a bit of cold going around. We have people with us. We'll go through all the talk points. We're doing cold starts this evening. Guys, 3 points, he says, still a poor performance. Mr. Jones says no plan. Evening, Bazza. Bazza says evening. Martin Holland says good evening, everybody, as does Scott Kent. Steve Grundy says back-to-back wins at last. Richard says evening all. It must be a positive show tonight. Well, we can find some negativity if you want, Richard. If you insist, we can find some. Noel Jordan, Cheryl's with us. Dave Lawton, Graham Lynn. There's loads with us at the minute. Thank you all. Paul Rhodes also with us. Evening room for improvements, but we'll take the 3 points absolutely. Gumbo says, "Oh, give it a rest. That's 2 wins on the bounce. Get off the geezers back." Oh, we weren't even negative at that point. I don't know if that went to us, but anyway. We covered this on the instant reaction, but Joy, just give us your sort of instant thoughts on the game. It's back-to-back wins, and that's a huge step forward, really, to win back-to-back games.
Well, absolutely. Was it 80? We were top of the league again, weren't we? Of the teams that had gone 80-odd games without winning back-to-back games. So, another monkey off our back. 2 in a week, or less than a week. So positivity abounds. But I can understand people's, what's the word I'm looking for? Misgivings, for want of a better term. Because the performances are still not what I would hope they would be. They are improving. I'm not saying they're not improving. I mean, the fact that we've won 2 on the bounce is positive, and you can't get away from that. And there is a sort of kernel there of what I can see as possibly a decent squad that, might get up into the higher echelons at the league. But I think our position and our points total reflect how we've been playing thus far in these first 10 games, to be honest. But, there's room for improvement, as we all know, and we've all said that. But we can't be moaning 7 points out of 9. And so there has been improvement.
Absolutely. The show says, so did both records include the Sheffield United game? No, the back-to-back wins was the Huddersfield win, and then we went to Stoke on the Tuesday night and got that miracle 1-0 win, thanks to Victor. That was the last back-to-back victory. But we'll talk about the game in specifics in a minute, but what Joy touched on there's a kernel of something to grab onto. We really lacked that in the first 8 games of the season, where there's been so little to hang on to in terms of performances. But certainly the second half yesterday, there's loads to hang on to. We could talk about Nombe, we could talk about the aggression, we could talk about Joe Powell finding a cross, Joe Rafferty Hacks getting a goal. there was a lot to pick up on. Baz has put Jamie McCart in there as well. There's quite a lot now to hang on to. It wasn't perfect by any means, but there's now quite a lot to kind of hang on to sort of think that we may well be on a positive path there.
Yeah, I mean the second half particularly. The first half is forgettable. The second half, yeah, we came out and we did dominate the game without a doubt. Even before the sending off, we were 2-1 up at that point. We were a lot better, much better. Some aggression, some fight. The press was there, and the press was right as well. We did it worked, and that half of football, that second half of the football, is the first time this season we've seen any sort of sign, in my view, anyway, any sort of sign that there is something something could come out of this. So yeah, it is positive. Leaving the game from a performance point of view, it is very, very positive. The last 3 games, from a points haul point of view, are also positive. But performances are the key. The performances are key because if you can get that level and maintain that level, then the results will automatically come. If you can't maintain that level, then the results may or may not come. That's the difference. So coming away from there yesterday, apart from being angry that we won, it was positive. It felt good for a change. It's a feeling I'm not used to. I don't think many of us are used to, are we? After what we've been through over the last few years. So yeah, I'm pleased with that second half performance. Really pleased, and I'm more than happy with the result.
I think the key thing is, though, moving on, is can we maintain that second half performance and generate it into a 90 minutes or 90 plus minutes? I mean, we've got 2 heavy duty fixtures coming up against Peterborough and Wrexham. And I think they will be good indicators of how we have improved, assuming we have. I mean, we're making this assumption because we've got 7 points out of 9 that we've improved, because that would indicate that we have. But we played Shrewsbury second bottom, we played Cambridge bottom, we played Reading, who are on a similar sort of par with us. They're not being the best of the teams in the league, I would have said. I mean, we got blown away by Birmingham, who are up there. We're coming up to Wrexham. Peterborough, they're not, I would suggest, having the best of starts to the season either. So I think these 2 games coming up are probably will be sort of like good performance indicators, as they say, moving forward, as to see if we have actually improved.
I agree. I think we'll maybe touch on that next a little bit, but there's the next 4 games in the league. I think Leighton Orient in there in the playoff picture as well, and then we also got Stevenage, who are in the top 7 or 8 as well. So these next 4 fixtures are going to really give us an indication of where we are, hopefully points wise, but as you both said, performance wise as well. Tom Case says the first half seemed rubbish, but I've watched the extended highlights and we created a lot more than it felt like at the time. Kelly from Hubs agrees with him. What is my first thought? Steve Evans said, Joy, that he thinks that maybe Rotherham fans were kind of frustrated because of what's happened in the past, which is why the boos came out. Is that fair? Were we being a little bit harsh, or was the first half very, very poor?
I think the first half was indicative of the way we've been playing these first few games of the season. There's not been an awful lot to sort of crow about at all, has there really? We've had like 20-minute spells where we've looked really, on the ball and good, and then the rest has been dross. So, and I don't think, I mean, I'm getting a bit cheesed off with Evans trying to lay the blame of what's gone before. We're not looking back, we're looking forward, or he should be at least. He's our manager now. There's no point going on about what happened, in the last 24 months since, or whenever, when Paul Warne left. It's 2 years ago now. So we need to be looking that way, not that way, not backwards. So I'm getting a bit cheesed off with this, laying it on the fans as well, that we don't understand the game, that we are not aware of what the effort is that they're putting in. I mean, there was still some boos at half time yesterday, weren't they? Were they for the ref? Because that ref was appalling for both. But I couldn't work out whether it was against our performance or the ref, to be brutally honest. But it's difficult to say. Evans needs to be focusing on his performance as well and his abilities to get the best out of this group of players, because he isn't doing that at the moment. We've had flashes of it, and that's all.
Yeah, I agree. Where are we? Winston says back-to-back wins. Am I dreaming? Gumbo says he certainly had one second half. Yeah, we'll come on to that, but I think we need to give praise where it's due for the second half. Let's talk about the goal, Mick, for the Reading goal, which came from the Lewis Wing free kick. He did it for us, 3 years ago? 2021, so three seasons ago, Lewis Wing, almost a carbon copy. I've gone back about 3 or 4 times on this, in terms of Cam Dawson and the situation, and whether he's at fault, whether it was just a stunning free kick. And I've fallen on the side of that he got a massive hand to that. And if you get a massive hand to that, as we said with Dylan Phillips at Charlton, I'm using the same barometer. If you're saying Dylan Phillips should have done much better at Charlton, I'm saying that Cameron Dawson should have done better with that one. Now, his reaction also tells me he could have done better, because he wasn't very happy with himself when it went in. So I'm going to side with Cameron Dawson and say that it maybe should have done better on that one.
I think you're being harsh, personally.
No, probably.
I think it's an excellent free kick, and Scott's just pointed out in the comments there, I don't even think it were a free kick in the first place. But let's not get bogged down in rules or out like that, shall we? I think you're being really harsh on him. It's hit with real pace. The Charlton goal, whilst it was an excellent goal and really well placed, it wasn't hit with the same amount of pace and venom that Wing hit that one yesterday. Maybe he feels he should have stopped it. I don't know, but I think you're being harsh on him. I've seen the comments. I've seen the social media talk about the goal with between yourself and Kevin and a few others. And I'm not buying it personally. That's my view. He got a hand to it. I think he did well to get a hand to it, to be perfectly honest. So no, I'm not buying it. It was a great free kick. Shouldn't have been one like, but
no.
Again,
I'm coming from the other side, Joy. At this level, there's not many players that probably are as good from that distance and those kind of free kicks. We know how hard Lewis Wing can hit the ball, and he did absolutely nail it. So you've got to give credit to Lewis Wing for that, unfortunately. We don't like giving credit to Lewis Wing, but I think we've got to give him some credit on this occasion.
I mean, like we said, I'm not sure that it was a free kick in the first place, but it was given, and the ref, like I said, gave it. And we've seen Wing do that for us, haven't we? Take those long distance strikes, So it's not like we should have been more prepared for it, shouldn't we? Let's be brutally honest.
I'm surprised the wall wasn't bigger. From that distance, I'm surprised there weren't 2 or 3 more players in the wall. That's maybe all I'm correct. That's maybe another issue.
Yeah. It's a bit of a moot point, really, isn't it? Because they scored, and at the end of the day, they didn't win anyway. So, what's it matter? We won. They didn't.
Exactly. Tom agrees with you, Mick, but Mike's on my side. Mike says, Matt, not harsh at all. Dawson should have saved the free kick. Powerful, yes, but the right height for the keeper. Pro keeper should have saved that.
Come on, Mike. I thought you and I were on the same page about the last few podcasts.
It's one of those that splits opinion. When it splits opinion, then I tend not to blame the player too much, because although we're not professionals, we all have a good idea. And if we're all thinking different things, then I think, and to be fair, he made up for it. We'll come on to this later on, but he made up for it. Even if he did make a mistake on that goal, he made up for it later on in the game, didn't he?
Oh, yes.
But it probably wasn't a free kick. I think it was very, very soft. Having said that, I don't know where we were in the centre of the pitch for the free kick for Lewis Wing to be fouled in the first place. We're talking this in the instant reaction, and this was less so in the second half. But in the first half, we were so easy to play through. Once you got past Nombe, they were in. and it were 2-3 passes, and they were in the final third straight away. Again, we clamped up on that a little bit in the second half, but that's a real problem because Reading, with all due respect, Reading are not that good a team, and Birmingham show what they can do, and Wrexham, I'm sure, will hurt us if we allow them to do so. That's a big concern how easy that we were to play through, especially in the first half.
Yeah, we've not got midfield right by any stretch of imagination, have we? We've said this a few times. We are very, very easy to play through. Burton showed that, you know. Burton played through us so much, and this, for me, in my opinion, it comes down to the formation that we're playing, you know, and the tactics that we're playing. First half, there was a lot more long ball stuff than there was in the second. There was next to none in the second, and we managed to get hold of the midfield for whatever reason. But in the first half, when this free kick occurred, you know, that wasn't the case at all. And we were at 6s and 7s, both in the midfield, and that sort of had a knock-on effect at the back as well. So we were just disorganised. So yeah, it's something that needs addressing, I think. But if we decide to do what we did in that second half and put the ball down on the deck and play a little bit more, then it might not be quite so much of a problem, because you're not getting players dragged out of position constantly. You know, with the ball just going straight off at the top. So don't know. It's a problem. It's a problem. Whether that will change when Kelly comes back for his next 2 or 3 games before he gets injured again, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's a tactical issue in my view.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, Joe, because we've been crying out for width, and I think width helps. But at the same time, he played the same formation in the second half, and the same formation worked very, very well. So is it the players, and this is a question maybe we can't answer, is it the players not putting into plan what he's asking all the time, but then they did in the second half? Or was it just a step up in levels in terms of our performance in the second half compared to the first half? Actually, it was the same formation.
I don't know. Again, it's difficult to get into the player's mindset, isn't it? Like you said, they're the same formation, the same guys on the pitch, but it was like a Jekyll and Hyde performance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be brutally honest. Our midfield is like tissue paper, isn't it? It's neither supportive of the defence or supportive of the attack. It's not been effective, I would say, so far in the games that we've had. Like I said, we've had odd spells, odd flashes, but we've got, I think, a decent defence, and on paper, though we don't play on paper, as we always say, a decent attacking line. Though, again, we've not seen the performances from those guys as well. Though we have sort of, in the last couple of games, getting that from Nombe a little bit more. But there's no craft, there's no creativity. I mean, playing Teehee and a Dauphin together, I'm not sure that works because they're in the same areas. I mean, a Dauphin was absolutely shattered yesterday. I mean, obviously that's why he had to come off. He ran himself to water. Wouldn't necessarily say effectively, but you know, we are missing that sort of Rathbone ratting player. We're missing the Barlasser creativity player. We haven't got any of them. And I think Rafferty fits it to a degree, but he can't be the answer to everything. He's only one guy. He's of a certain age. He's obviously injury prone as well. We need a couple of... Yeah, I can't believe this wasn't looked at in the summer. I mean, we've not even got a full squad for a start, have we? We've got young lads named in the 25. So I think it's patently obvious from anybody that comes to watch us that the key area, the key problematic area is midfield. I mean, have we heard how Andre Green's getting on? Is he likely to be making a return soon? Because then again, we'd have a little bit more width as well, wouldn't we? One assumes if he's back in the side.
A good amount of work rate as well. From what I remember last year, his work rate was quite good. I don't think he's with the group yet. From last time Evans was a couple of weeks ago, Evans last mentioned him. I think end of October, November time was what they were talking about. Maybe the Bradford game with the Bristol Street Motors. What's that? Around the 10th of November. Hopefully, we might see him get some minutes.
Not that long, is it? Now it's not.
No. If we can get a run at FA Cup as well, then we get a second round tie in the FA Cup, again getting some minutes in that as well. And then if you get almost through to the last 16 of Bristol, so again you get these cup competitions are going to be really important for Andre Gregory, I think.
I mean, and the other thing as well, who'd have thought it, eh? 2 goals from crosses.
I know.
It's like, you know, we're crying, we know we're crying out for width. And then as soon as you get a little bit of second goal's a bit, you know, it's not actually that wide, is he, when he sort of lofts it in. But you know, the first goal from the crossing from Powell was you know, it was begging to be clipped in, and was.
It
Took it well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the second half in a bit more detail. Let's talk about the goals, because you know we can't be too negative on these kind of things, can we? Sam Nombe got two goals in 2 games, Mick. I liked Sam Nombe last season. I don't know, some people might not have done, but I like what Nombe did. He didn't score the goals, but I liked what I saw of him. And I knew in League One he would get the goals. And thankfully, he's now got 2 in 2, and he deserves both of those goals. Although one was very lucky.
Yeah.
He has deserved them and earned them. But this goal, where are you putting the most credit for? Because there's three important parts to this goal.
Oh, yeah.
There's that pass inside from Reece James is actually a really difficult pass. There wasn't much of a gap. It was a really, really good ball out there. Yeah. Joe Powell puts in the best ball of the game. And then Sam Nombe with a really difficult finish, a bit of pace on it, at a funny angle. That's a key goal. 3 real bits of quality within the space of a few seconds, and that quality gets you goals. Even in Championship, that get you a goal. That kind of quality.
100%. It's a fantastically worked goal. Really, really well worked goal. A quality passes all the way through, and a quality finish, like you said. It was excellent. Really, really good. And I don't think until the ball hit the back of the net, it actually left floor. So just give that some thought, you know. Had that ball gone route 1 from Reece James up to Clark Harris or whatever, then obviously the attack would have petered out, but we didn't. We played it on the floor. The pass from James was absolutely fantastic. It was pinpoint. He bent it around the midfielder straight into Powell's path. It was a fantastic ball, and the cross from Powell was excellent. You know, me and you criticised him a few times yesterday because he kept failing to beat the first man, didn't he, from corners and everything else. So the cross was absolutely outstanding. So the finish, as a proper striker's finish, you know, he's got across the defender, across the goalkeeper, and in. It was excellent. A really, really good goal. I'm really pleased for Sam Nombe, because I just get the feeling that Evans is not sure about him. I might be wrong, I don't know, but I just get the feeling he's not sure about him, you know, after the Exeter debacle. And then he's taken him off at times when you feel that he's the one that's going to cause you the most problems up there, albeit he'd not been scoring up to recently. So I'm glad for him, and I hope that cements his place as an absolute number 1 starter up there. Because in reality, out of that front 3, is the only one really that looks like scoring at the moment. But yeah, an excellent goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Shelley says, imagine what happens when you get balls into the box. Reg saying he looked like £1 million player yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Which was good. Scott Kent, the movement from Nombe to get across the defender was brilliant and was an excellent finish from the lad. I get the feeling from the... Go on, mate, say something.
I was just going to say, what I would say as well is that in the first half, you commented on it, I don't think he was happy with his own performance in the first half. No. You know, his touch was a little bit heavy, and he wasn't quite on it in that first half, but he came out and made an absolute meal of it in second half. He just completely turned it around. So, yeah, sorry, I don't know why that was irrelevant, really.
Well, but I think that's potentially an important point there, Joy, because he wasn't there in the first half, and neither were we. And in the second half, Sam Nombe was there in the second half, and we as a team, the performance level stepped up. So maybe he is a much more important player than we maybe realise, because he was huge in that second half performance. He's the driving force, and he got the goal as well. He's becoming a really central figure to this team.
And obviously, he will be brimming with confidence, one would assume, as well. And then that brings more confidence, and that's the sort of thing we wanting to happen within the team, not just to Nombe, but through. I mean, if it starts with Nombe, all well and good, and permeates through the team, that would be excellent. You know, I thought one or two players did quite well yesterday. I thought McCart was up there. Yeah, and I think that we're still lacking composure. I mean, our XG is still off the scale, isn't it? Let's be honest. And yet we're still only getting a maximum of 2 goals, you know, and we just need more composure. We need more well, I don't know if it's confidence, and we do need to play on the deck. I mean, I know that's not Evans' style, but perhaps Evans needs to look at what worked yesterday and start, you know, implementing that as plan A rather than plan B, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. Bollywood says, I must say now, plan or no defender is getting anywhere near Nombe. Streets ahead of any defender in the league. Who knew quality crosses out wide into the box can cause mayhem, keep the goals coming. I just want to say, I can see every comments about Johnson Clark-Harris. We will come on to Johnson Clark-Harris and Max Wilts. You can't be too negative on these shows. You've got to be positive all the time. So we're going to get that in first. And if we've got any time left, we'll go through the negatives. But yeah. Second goal, Mick.
Yeah, you barking, Joy, dog.
Oh yeah, I'm barking, man. Hold on. What's wrong with you? Stop it. Honestly, me and my canine friends.
Second goal, Mick.
Yeah.
I'm just going to watch this back. I'm going to ask you the question. I'm going to watch it back for myself. Any questions? I'm not sure you watched it back. Is this a foul by I think Nombe on the keeper?
I've seen Mike's comment earlier on that we were going to disagree again, and he's right. I think I don't know, 70% of the time those are given as fouls on the goalkeeper. At the number of goals we've had chalked off for much less than that. I would be very, very unhappy had that goal been scored against us. What I would say is that the goalkeeper was a bit weak, a bit flappy, didn't really commit to it. But like I say, we've had so many chalked off for much less than that. I think it's a foul by the standards that previous officials have set. In reality, it's not a foul, but by the standards that have been set, I think it probably is. I think Nombe has just eased him out of the way a little bit, and there you go. And Mike's he's he's not let me down, Mike. Never in a million years was that a foul. Contact is allowed in the penalty area, even with the goalkeeper. I understand that, and it's not a foul. I agree, it's not a foul. But like I said, by the standards that have been kind of set over recent years, particularly selfishly against us, I think it probably was, or should have been. And I would have been cross. I would have been really annoyed had that been given as a goal against us. But it's a great finish. Don't get me wrong.
It's good.
Good finish. It's a typical Hakeem Adoffin back post header in it. And yeah, listen, it counts. Who cares now? Who cares? You know, ultimately, we have not had the rub of the green with officiating over the last few years. We have not. We have definitely not. So this season, it seems to be taking a bit of a turn. And Mike and I can have a chat about big team bias if you want, but we are classed as one of the bigger teams in this division, and we seem to be getting the results, and we seem to be getting a lot of the decisions that definitely would not go our way higher up the league.
No, I think it's probably one of those, Joy, that if 80% of all football fans had a vote, that goal would be allowed all of the time. but modern day football, you just assume the referee is going to get that extra layer of protection. I think having watched it back, I think what's failed the keeper is the keeper doesn't really actually get it off the ground. There isn't really a jump. So maybe if he actually tried to get to the ball, the referee then may have favoured him. But we benefited from it. So I'm going to say this, but I don't mind that not giving us a foul. But next week, we'll probably get a goal disallowed or something like that. There's a consistency issue. I'm okay with that not being a foul every week.
Yeah, I am as well. I think goalkeepers are overprotected anyway these days. But I agree. I expected it to have been chalked off because whether he ran into Nombe or Nombe ran into him, there was a clash, and that allowed a Dauphin that header to score the goal. And I wouldn't have been surprised at all had it been chalked off because, like you said, Mick, 9 times out of 10, when that happens, there's a clash in the area, the keeper goes down, the whistle is blown, and it's a free kick to them, isn't it? And I agree. If we'd had that goal scored against us, I would have been a bit cheesed off. But like we said before, it's a bit of a moot point because we won 2-1, and that's it at the end of the day. So, but I mean, again, it's down to the officiating. There's no consistency at all, is there? And like you say, you wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened next week, and we were on the end of it not being given or being given, and the keeper's being taken out. So, go figure.
Yeah, exactly. I think the referee was very good. You mentioned it earlier. I don't think the referee had a very good game, but I think he probably got the important decisions correct, which we'll come on to now. The second yellow card, Mick, for their number 9. Just the first yellow card, I didn't see happen. I saw him brandish the yellow. So I assumed and the number 9 didn't commit the foul for the first one. So we're assuming that first yellow card was for having a go at the referee, which is a bit silly. And the second one, it's just Joe Rafferty is just on the line out there, just reeled him in. It was just a beautiful thing to watch. Just a man lose his head for no reason and get sent off.
Yeah, I mean, Rafferty put that tackle in it, and it was a proper good old-fashioned right-back's challenge, wasn't it? Took the ball, took the man landed on top of him, just out of play. And what happened was, I think, as the bloke the Reading player tried to get up off the top of Rafferty, he dragged him back down again. So there were a little bit of handbags, and then in comes, is it Garcia? I don't know.
No, number 9. I can't remember his name.
Whatever his name was. In comes number 9 from 20 yards away. Picks a 20-yard run up on a yellow card. Well, they were never going to be one outcome, weren't they? And it was just mad. And as they were walking off, a couple of their players have got their hands out as if to say, "What the hell? What are you doing? What are you thinking?" He got that bang on right, ref. He had no choice. I mean, to be fair, I don't think it would have been a straight red, but some referees would have given a straight red for it. But madness, a moment of madness. But
Harry just asked me to pronounce it. I'm not going to try and pronounce that because I will absolutely butcher it. It's about 15 letters long. It's beyond my capabilities, unfortunately. But yeah, Grant Thompson says Rafferty was having got that 16-year-old right back. That's where I reacted, which is fair enough. You've got to stick up for your teammates. That's absolutely the right thing to do, Joy. But don't do that when you're on a yellow card. Just stupid.
Yeah, and don't run 20 yards to do it. If you're going to do it, employ the dark arts, but
exactly,
not run 20 yards to push him over.
It was funny. It's still funny now.
I think he had a bit of a brain freeze or something, didn't he? The red mist certainly descended.
Funny, very, very funny. Sorry, Reading fans, but if you're going to like that, we're going to laugh at you. I'm sorry. Kevin in the comments says it's easy to pronounce. Just number 9. There you go. Yes, just number 9. But yeah.
I think the other thing that was amusing in that game was that throw-in. their manager Sellers was going absolutely
Yes, he
bonkers.
was. Yeah. And rightly so and all.
They were just ambling over.
Yeah,
I
it
was
were
like,
often.
Garrity.
Yeah, it were. What that should have killed the game, Mick. It didn't quite kill the game, but it certainly would have hurt them. How do you see our performance post red card? Because there's two ways of looking at this. The one way, which I'm going to choose to look at, is that we continue to be positive. We continue to try and score more goals. We tried to get the third, and that's how Stevens plays. The other way to look at it is, where the hell was the game management? Because you're 2-1 up against 10 men, you make things difficult. You're sitting a little bit. You just make life a little bit difficult. We won in the end, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I prefer the first option of just continue to be positive. And we were so unlucky not to get a third and a fourth. Jack Holmes scored, as you mentioned. A couple of other things. I was really happy that we continued to be positive after the red card.
Yeah, I agree. And we could have had 2 or 3 more. But the issue I have with this, I've got to try and think of it. I need to find a way of saying this without being negative towards our glorious leader. And it's going to be difficult. The best way to stop the opposition from scoring is to not let them have the ball. So if you're going to just oof it up the field, that's not going to work. So you can't play the tactic that we usually use. You can't maintain that tactic because the tactic is oof it up the field and hope we can get the second ball or the first ball. You're giving it away. And we did give the ball away too cheaply, I think, in those last few minutes. We survived. And in reality, they never really threatened, and the only way they were going to score would have been another Cameron Damon in 6-yard box at end there. And we should arguably have had a couple more, apart from a couple of maybe debatable linesman flags, and then Jack Holmes, young lad, lacking a little bit of confidence in his own abilities. I suspect he could have pulled the trigger earlier a couple of times when he got free. But you need to keep the ball. That is, if you are going to manage the game out, you're going to have to change your tactics slightly, and maintaining possession of it is obviously key, because, like you say, they can't score without it, can they? I get what you're saying, but you do what you do then is you do leave yourself open, don't you, to a counter attack, and the better side may well have punished us. I don't know, but they didn't. So happy days.
Yeah. Tom Case says it felt as if we played in the counter attack when they were down to 10 men. It would help if our strikers could stay on side. It would, but there was some horrific offside calls in that second half. Some really, 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 really poor offside calls. Ryan Thompson says the performance post record, he says, was worse than the first half. Usually says best form of attack defense is attack. What if
if you're any good at attacking, and we're not, we're kind of still learning that trade, aren't we?
We are, and that's the thing when you talked about composure earlier, that if you are 2-1 up and you've got a counter attack where you've got 3 on 2, 4 on 3, whatever the case may be, you've got to kind of calm down a little bit and be able to take those chances. And you can kind of forgive Jack Holmes a little bit because he's a kid, but there was a couple of times Jordan Hugill just took the wrong option. So maybe could do better once as well. But we've got to be more clinical, and that's if you look at the first 10 games in brief. If we were more clinical, we'd be in the playoff place already. You've got to be more clinical, especially at that stage in the game where they bombed on. When you've got that space, when you've got that time, that could have cost. It didn't, but that could have cost us had we not been a bit more clinical.
I mean, they were in a position where they had nothing to lose, so they had to do what they did. And again, composure was lacking. Game management was lacking. It was really panicky, particularly in that injury time, and we were lucky to not have an equaliser scored. an own goal at that.
Yeah.
To be brutally honest, but we held out, but it wasn't comfortable, was it? And I think I agree with the comment about after they went down to 10 men, we just sort of trying to think of the word. Well, we panicked. And I agree with you, Mick. Hoofing it up is not the best plan. You're playing against 10. You need to be kicking it around them, not over the top of them and letting them bring it back. Just no composure and lacking in confidence, I think, and became quite panicky. I mean, I was watching it. I wasn't there, obviously. I was watching it. But even I could feel the tension coming through the TV. So I don't know what it must have been like for you guys that were there. It must have been incredibly nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it didn't feel they never really felt like they were going to trouble us. I mean, you always given what we've had for the last 2 or 3 years, you've always got that certain amount of nerves, but in reality, it's easy to say now, isn't it? 24 plus hours later, but I never really felt that we were in that much danger.
They lacked quality in that final third.
Yeah, they did. They did. Another team that in the final third, a bit like ourselves, and probably a lot of other teams in this division, once they get into that final third, are not really cutting it. So, but yeah, just I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? But we got through it. We got through it, and it'll give them confidence to hopefully moving forward that we can get through it again. But just get up other end and finish them off.
Yeah. Couple more positives before we get into negatives. So I'll let you know when negatives are coming so you can switch off if you want to at that point as well. Cam Dawson, though, Mick, at the end. I love Cam Dawson. I've just really taken to him. I really, really like him. And we can debate the first goal all you want, but in the 96th minute of the game, that bloke stepped up. He stepped up and did what he needed to do. And I'm not going to say about Dylan Phillips, but that's what we need. That's the kind. He's obviously not as good as Victor, and we're not asking him to be, but he's exactly what we need. And you can see the confidence the defence have him as well. It's really obvious the difference that the players in front of him have. And like I said, he didn't single-handedly win us a game, but it was huge to it.
Yeah, it was, and it was very brave as well. He put his head where it mattered again, like he did against Cambridge. So yeah, he's convinced me. He's convinced me. He's never going to be as good as Victor. No, I don't think we'll see the like of that again in a Rotherham shirt unless he comes back. I would argue, looking at 2 of those saves, he might be as daft as him though. Because he has no fear, has he, in terms of getting down at players' feet. So yeah, it was an excellent save again. Humphreys, Cam, you just need to get you together, because that's 2 games on trot now, mate. Keepers
bailed him out.
Yeah.
Pop Kelly says it's a good save. It's a shame it was on player defender.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it is obviously, isn't it, Joy, the confidence that the defence have. The defence look a bit more solid. Clean sheet on Tuesday would be a clean, excluding a brilliant free kick. It would be a clean sheet on Saturday again as well. So it's better. It is already better with Cam Dawson, and he should have been in since day one, to be fair. But he is now proving that is the case.
I don't expect to see Dylan Phillips back unless it's in the cup games or the Bristol Street Motors games, to be honest, which is a shame for the young man. But Cam Dawson would appear to be at this point the better keeper of the 2. And I don't, as I touched on earlier, I don't think our defence is necessarily the main problem. It's our tissue paper midfield that's the issue.
Yeah, I completely agree. More praise, Mick, more positivity. Jamie McCart. I mean, this is a redemption story, a bit almost like a Dolphins, to be honest with you. His early days, it's still very early days for Jamie McCart, but this guy was literally shown the door in May literally told, we don't want you here, we're not interested, you're not good enough, see you later. Had we had a fully fit squad, he wouldn't have started on day one. He just wouldn't. He's now made himself undroppable. He's playing better than anybody else in that defence. He's playing better than Cameron Damon quite comfortably this season so far. I am very, very happy for Jamie McCart that he's been able to do that, even just for himself. That is, he's reliable. He's just reliable. It's boring. He is a bit boring, but he just seems really, really reliable at the minute.
You need at least one boring centre half.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just surely that's just common sense, isn't it? You need one who's either slightly radged or is able to play the ball and disappear off upfield which is what we've got in Cam Humphreys. Although I suspect he's been told he's not allowed to do that. You can see it in his eyes when he thinks, I'm going, no, I best not, because I'll get told off. But McCart, I think he's been outstanding. Certainly yesterday, I thought it was really, really good. He's a top level League One centre half. Whether he's got that step up in him, I don't know, but that's irrelevant at the moment. I suspect he's another one of those players who needs that. He needs to bed himself in. He needs 3 or 4 games. And the issue for us will be with him, if he gets injured and then comes back, we might have another 2 or 3 games or 4 games or however long it takes him to get back up to speed again. But he was excellent yesterday. He's been excellent the last couple of games, I think. He's got a mistake in him. Every centre half's got a mistake in him. Otherwise, they're in Premier League. And he has got his limitations. But I'd put him in ahead of Raggett personally. I would. I mean, I know Raggett's he's probably got more. He probably presents more of a danger in opposition box. But he's still winning. McCart's still winning headers in there.
Oh, he scored a goal and won a penalty the last couple of weeks, hasn't he?
So I rate him. I do. I know the people don't. I know Kev's in comments, and I know Kev doesn't rate him. But it's down to opinions, isn't it? But ultimately, he's cemented his place for me for the time being, anyway. Him and Cam Humphreys, and let's build it around that.
Absolutely. And the defence is looking more settled, Joey. Obviously, at the start of the season, and obviously, like for the last 2 years, it's been so choppy and changing back 4 or 5, whatever we've played. But at the minute, if there's one area of the team that is without a doubt, and it's not really in question, it's that back 5, including Cam Dawson. Rafferty, Cam Humphreys, McCart, and Reece James. That's your back 5, week in, week out, whoever's fit. You've got to have a solid base, and it looks like we've got a decent, solid base there.
I don't have a problem with any of them at all. I mean, you could see maybe Evans would want to shoehorn Raggett in when he's fit, but who would you drop? It would be a bit of a shame for McCart, and I don't think he'd drop Humphreys because he's the one that has the little bit of pace that backs up McCart's lack of pace, if that makes sense. So, and the full backs have been fine, haven't they? And since Rafferty came back, I think we've been a lot more solid in defence. Because that was the issue, wasn't it? That right back position. But since he's been back, it's not been too bad. Birmingham aside.
Birmingham aside, yeah. Absolutely. Ryan Thompson, how does Raggett come back into that side given that McCart's emergence? You can't drop him for Humphreys because of the mobility that Humphreys gives us. Back 5 has been a problem when we've played it because we don't have wing backs. Ryan's bang on there. And like you both said, Raggett is a huge threat in the opposition box, but that's not good enough. You don't bang. If defenders can get you some goals, that's great. You don't sign them to score 7 or 8 goals a season. That's just a bonus. You've got to be solid. You've got to ideally be consistent, and that's what we've got. I mean, you've got that consistency, and we didn't mention also on Nombe the shot that their keeper pulled off a worldie from. So unlucky not to get that because that was very shortly after his first goal. You can see the confidence that he's using at the minute.
He does like that little cut inside, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It would have been a mirror image of that goal he scored. Was it against Cardiff, I think, back in the last season?
Absolutely.
A mirror image of that one.
It would. League table puts us still only 17th, but we are 3 points of the playoffs. As you'd expect with this time of the season, it's very, very close. As to the frustration of some drop points earlier on the season, because if we get a draw or win at Exeter, we're above them. If we get a draw or a win against Wycombe, we're above them. They're in the playoffs. There's probably a couple of other ones as well. But we're well back in contention. Suggests we're miles and miles away, doesn't it? But as us, it feels like, I don't know what you think, Joy. It feels like we're back in it, kind of thing. League table says miles away, but it does feel really positive. We're back to being positive, mostly.
But like I said, I think the next couple of games are going to be a better indicator of where we may or may not end up being. I'm not wishing to be the voice of doom. My name is Joy after all, but I've not seen anything yet apart from that second half on Saturday that would suggest that I can't get happy clappy yet. I'm sorry. No, that's not what you want to hear. You're trying to be positive, and I'm not. But I need more from them before I commit to the team. And I should, because I'm a fan, but it doesn't necessarily follow that I will. I've still got my doubts, shall I say? And it's not necessarily the team. It's the management as well. I'm not sure. Still not
Be
sure.
careful. People get upset about that.
Still not sure.
So
I am on the fence.
That's probably all the negatives, positives we've got. So if you don't like any negativity, now is the time to switch off. It's been lovely having you. We'll see you next time. This is going to be. We're going to criticise some performances now. So we are. We have. We've talked about Sam Nombe. Brilliant, positive, attacking player who's doing his job, Mick.
Yeah, man.
He's playing with two other players though, which you may have missed because they weren't really doing much yesterday. Let's start with Johnson Clark-Harris because I said it on Thursday. I said to you all yesterday, he's becoming a problem. He's becoming a real problem.
I think you can lump these two together. I'm sorry for cutting it off, but you can lump these two together, mate. Johnson Clark-Harris is not fit, so he shouldn't be playing. Malik Wilkes is a winger, so he should be playing on wing. That's the problem. Next question. But that's it, isn't it? You know what? You can't.
It is, but Wilkes has got something. And he was rubbish yesterday. Don't get me wrong. He was rubbish, and he was. Paul Davies put in his article. He's been poor for 4 games, which is probably right. But I can see what Wilkes can do.
Yeah.
There's something there. I get it. I understand it. Yeah, it's not always going to pan off. It might only happen once every 4 or 5 games. But I know why Wilkes is being picked. I'm with it.
Yeah.
I don't know why Johnson Clark-Harris is being picked at the minute. I don't know what he brings to this team.
Because he's not fit.
But
and even I accept. Let's wait and see until he's fit to see whether he can bring anything. He may be able to. He may not be able to. I don't know. You know, but he's not fit, and he's playing as part of a front three. I'm not convinced that is the best position for him. He's playing part of a front three with a winger who shouldn't be playing part of a front three, who should be playing on wing, which is where he's effective. So, I mean. For me, the jury's out on Clark-Harris. He's not the marquee signing that everybody suggests that he was. He's not. He's done it at this level. He's capable at this level. But this is it. I would argue, with the greatest respect to him, that this probably is his level. However, when he's fit and when he's playing in position, but he's not playing in the right position or in the right formation. And Malik Wilkes is a winger. He's not a striker.
Yeah.
Why are you playing? Why you're playing as a striker when you've got Nombe, you've got Hugo? It's beyond me. I don't get it. So I don't criticise Malik Wilkes. I don't think he's had a good game. I agree with you. Last 2 or 3 games, I don't think he's played well. But he's playing out of position, completely out of position.
Yeah, he goes. Yeah.
He's not a striker. That's not where he's going to do the damage. So I don't. For me. In terms of the players and performances, neither of those are negatives. In terms of selection process, that's the negative for me. But then I would say that.
You would say that, yeah, because you've got an agenda.
I have. I'll find it if you want. Hang on.
Paul runs to say up. Johnson Clark Harris said hello to her in the warm. Leave me alone. Dillon, Johnson Clark Harris doesn't cut it for me. Same as when he was here first time around. YouTuber says Evans' love child will not drop him. It's difficult in it, Joy, because he's run that play. We like to deposit. We like to give them time, but he's a nuisance to the team. He's our own player, and he's a nuisance to the team, Johnson Clark Harris. And yeah, fine if he's not 100% fit, that's fine. But again, with Wilkes, I don't think he's playing well, but I can see it. With Clark Harris, I can't see it. I can't see what he's going to bring us when he's 100% fit at the minute. I'm really, really struggling with him.
But I don't think we're set up to play to Clark Harris's strengths, even when he's fit.
Yeah.
You know, he needs wingers, doesn't he? He needs wide men to feed off. That's his bread and butter. And we don't play with wide men, or Steve Evans hasn't been playing with wide men, vis-a-vis Malik Wilkes, vis-a-vis Andre Green. What's going to happen? If you put those on the wings, Clark Harris in the middle as a number 9, get the, because this is the issue, isn't it? We've been moaning about the fact that we can't even get a ball in the box past the first player. The quality of, even last year, we're not, since Chio left, and he wasn't always very good at getting the ball in the middle, let's be brutally honest.
Yeah.
You know, the quality is lacking, and that's what Johnson Clark Harris feeds off. We're not playing to his strengths. I don't think, he must be incredibly cheesed off as well that, we're not, he's in the team. He can't enjoy being dragged off after 70 minutes every game. He's not stupid. He knows he's not delivering when at the last, 4 or 5 seasons at this level, he's been banging them in left, right and centre. And he isn't. So what's the issue? A, is he not fit? B, is he carrying too much timber? Because he's a unit. And C, we just don't play to his strengths.
That's the problem. That's exactly the problem.
Well, what's his strengths? What are his strengths?
Give him the ball in the box.
But we are crossing the ball.
No,
if you look at the stats, we're crossing the ball.
Yeah, but he's constantly having to drop short to try and win that long ball, and as a consequence, he's out of position. And the player that's backing him up or taking his position up there is Malik Wilkes, who's a winger. You know, so anyway. Let's not be negative about this. He will score goals if you feed him.
Yeah, we're screaming out for a creative midfielder and a decent number 10.
Yeah.
As well as wingers, obviously.
Yeah. Anything else?
Maybe
that would fit, and then Clark Harris would fit into that formation, wouldn't he?
He would, yeah. Johnny Davis, I'm glad we found somebody who likes Clark Harris, because nobody else in the comments does. But Johnny Davis says Clark Harris's class is better than Nombe by a country mile. I disagree with you, Johnny, but again, it's all about opinions. I like Nombe. What can you say?
I'm trying to work out. In what way is he better? I'll ask that question. I don't know.
Yeah. And Dave Lawton's not the first person to mention this, but why did Posh get rid? Scored loads of goals a couple of years before. So, yeah, they released him on a free. They didn't even try it. From my understanding, he didn't try and sign a new contract with him. He was offloaded. And Peterborough are very, very good at keeping players with value. They didn't see any value in Johnson Clark Harris. Yeah. Harry's brought up positive for us. If anybody negative, don't like negative, come back in. Positives are back in. Harry says if we spoke properly about Holmes, he is a serious player and could definitely do well. Yeah, he played centrally. He played in the Wilkes role there, Joy, yesterday. And he's young, he's inexperienced, and he needs to develop. But there is absolutely, I can see why I haven't signed him. There's absolutely something there with that kid.
Well, he made a better fist of it than Wilkes did, didn't he?
Absolutely did.
In the short time that he was on the pitch. He could have had a couple of goals, couldn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I was just willing for that ball to hit the back of the net for him, because I thought, I reckon we'd have all gone absolutely bananas if he'd have scored,
Yeah.
to be brutally honest. And he just couldn't get his feet sorted, and he sort of like, you could see the indecision as he was sort of approaching the penalty area, and I thought, lift it. No, I was so disappointed for him, but hopefully, with those, it will come.
Mm.
But he needs to be given the opportunities, whether it's off the
Yeah.
bench or starting. Because when did he start against Fleetwood? He wasn't.
Yeah, poor one. But it wasn't on his
Yeah.
own. It was a poor team performance, wasn't it?
No. Yes, it was. But again, using these, perhaps he'll start in the Bristol Street Motors on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a minute. 'Cause I think I think Tuesday is an important game for some of these players. Potentially, we'll come to that in a moment. Mick, Sean Hayter's got a challenge for you. It says, try and stay positive about McWilliams. 3 touches, 2 headed out to the ball point on the sideline with a 50p head, 1 passed to home, so it's out of play past the goal line. He's struggling in his Sean McWilliams, and it's a real shame, because I think he's another one where I think Tuesday's a big game for him, because at the minute he is really, really, really struggling.
Yeah, I'm struggling with him a little bit as well. I will defend him on one of those that went out to ball boy, because it took an absolute. It was spinning horrifically.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fact that he even got his head on it were a surprise, and we're never ever going to be able to direct it anywhere he wants to. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've not seen enough of him, but what I have seen of him, doesn't set my world on fire. I don't know about anybody else. I think everybody else is of a similar opinion, or most people are, aren't they? He could well be one of the signings that Evans decides to get rid of in the January transfer window. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if not, but you never know. Shall I say another one? A song? Can't admit the squad.
Don't like that. He looks quality. He looks absolute quality, that lad. And he's not even getting a look in, is he? I know he's only a kid. I know he's young, but he should be at least on bench. He looks like he can offer a quite something quite different to what we've already got up front. But we know.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Forest let him come to us.
Yeah, I am,
because Steve Evans, for all he's good at, and there's loads that Steve Evans is good at, he has never been a manager, to bring through youth players.
No.
How many loanees came in first time round that were quite highly rated at their parent club and just flopped or didn't get a chance, or whatever the case may be? Now that may have changed in the last 10 years, but I don't think it has, without doing too much of it. So I'm surprised he's here, and I don't think he'll be here for much longer, to be honest with you. I think he'll be gone back in January, probably. But you never know. They might get hat-trick on Tuesday and start on Saturday. We'll have to kind of wait and see how that works. Joey, I'm ask you about Joe Powell, because I know Mick's thoughts on this. He's one that's he's dividing fans a little bit. I don't think, it's not like people hate him and people love him. I just think some people think he's doing all right. Some people think he's struggling a little bit. Where do you lie with Joe Powell at the minute and his performances?
Well, I think he is improving incrementally. I think he could quite well be our key player this year, but it does need to improve some more.
Yeah,
I can see what his skill set is meant to be, but at the moment he's a 10 Bob Frecklington, and we need him to be, working his way up to that sort of professional performance. But I think, it's getting there. I can see what he's trying to do, shall we say. It doesn't necessarily achieve it, but he's getting better. Like a lot of them are. And let's hopefully they can all continue on this upward trajectory.
Exactly. A mixture here. Richard says Powell's struggling for sure. Tom K says I like Powell. He's got something. He's not scared of getting stuck into tackle either, which I do agree with that. He's energetic, which I like. Shelley says Powell is a funny player. He shows flashes of brilliant at the cross yesterday, but then other times he drifts out of games. Reg, his set pieces are crap, and that's the frustrating thing, mate. How many times where we say every time we have a corner, somebody will say, "Is he going to beat first man?" It's not just one person having a dig at it. It's literally a different person almost every time, because it just feels simple. And I know it's not, but it just feels simple. Just beat the first man, and who knows what can happen. And it's just frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, earlier on, I disagreed vehemently with Johnny about Nombe and the Nombe and Clark Harris, but I agree with him completely on this one. His nan could probably take better set pieces than Powell. My nan couldn't. She's been dead a few years. No, I mean that is harsh, but yeah, I'm not sold. All right, I'm not sold. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Please don't start trolling me on X and Twitter saying that I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just not sold on him. Yeah. And I'm not sold on what I was told he was going to be, and that's another Ben Pringle. He ain't no Ben Pringle. He ain't anywhere close to being another Ben Pringle. Not even close. The only thing he is, sorry Ben, is prettier than Ben Pringle. Not much, but he is. But he has not got that yet anyway. He may have it in his locker and that might come, but at the moment, I'm kind of a bit meh about him. But yes, yeah. Sean, I would still buy his calendar, definitely.
IUCK, which I think is a good point, which Steve Evans is guilty of. I think I think comparing to Ben Pringle at the start of the season has made people overhype it. Absolutely. Same with Zach Jules comparing to Gary Arneson. Just stop doing it.
You see, that's the problem, isn't it? That's the first time I ever believed that Steve Evans said, and look what he's done. I've not believed it since, or I won't in future. Yeah. I believe that, and I've been let down.
Yeah. Of course, we just need to change tactics on corners and free kicks. We don't look a threat at all from set pieces at the minute, which for a Steve Evans side is a real surprise. That's kind of what hangs his hat on normally.
We ain't going to be looking at changing the nuanced tactics of corners when the overall tactic of kick it as hard as you can is still going to be there. So let's address that one first, and then we can start looking at things like set pieces.
Hour and 7 minutes for you to get a dig in there, proper dig in there.
We're all right. I'm basically hoping that anybody else who wanted to listen to negativity will have disappeared now.
It seems like it. Tom Casey reminds me of Wiles, where he keeps trying when it's not his day. He doesn't hide away. Yeah, look, he's a worker. He's a hard worker, which I like. It's one of the basics we have as, I think, certainly Rotherham fans, some other fans do as well. If you run hard and work hard, we'll forgive you a lot of a lot of the issues. Joy, the fist pumps at the end. I know mixed thoughts, and I know my thoughts. Where are you sitting on the Steve Evans fist pumps? Because they're like Marmite.
Nah. Not necessary. I mean, we played Cambridge, we played Reading. We're not winning anything, are we, yet?
No,
I suppose in one sense it's just relief from his perspective.
Yeah.
An emotional release, like we said, if we got rid of 2 monkeys off our back this last week, perhaps that is worth a couple of fist pumps, but I don't want to necessarily see again unless we've provided the performance that would warrant a fist pump, shall we say?
Yeah. I love our comment section. It is the best thing about this show.
I'm a massive fan.
Split in the comments. Again, it's Marmite. It's just literally Marmite. Harry says they're fantastic. Leave them alone. Damien Collins says embarrassing. Cheryl Stone says, left in time to miss them, heard them, unfortunately. That's the way they are. They're not my kind of thing. Victored them last year and didn't mind them. I'll tell you why I didn't mind them, because I thought first time they were what's the word? Random or spur of the moment kind of thing, because of how crap the season had been. This is pre-planned, innit? And I think that's what I don't like about it. Having said that, I stand by what I said on the instant reaction yesterday. If you had a T-shirt cannon into the routine, it would be 10 times better. It would just be better.
Yeah.
But that's just me. You know, maybe that would be even sillier. Sorry, I'm just enjoying comments.
I don't know. Yeah. It's like being back at school. I love it.
I love it.
It's knocked 40 years off me, this.
Tom K says, I can't bring myself to join in no matter how happy I am with the result. Having said that, if we get to Wembley and win at Wembley, I'll probably be joining in. So I am happy to be a hypocrite on this one. I don't mind being a hypocrite, to be honest with you.
Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it is an age thing, you know, because kids love it, don't they? Kids are all over that kind of thing. But
are you putting me in the same age bracket as you?
Well, you're not a kid anymore, Matt.
I'm not having that.
You know what I mean? I hate to break it to you, but you're not a kid anymore.
I'm aware of that, but come on.
And I don't know. It's just horrible, isn't it? and I said this on post-match. So Gimp boy in comments there can shove it where the sun don't shine. I don't care who does it. I'm not interested who does it. It could be Evans. It could be anybody. It could be Pep. It could be. I don't care who does it. If Warney had done it, I'd criticise him for doing it as well, because I don't like it. It's horrible. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's from Josh. I've lost his comment. I'm devastated because it's one of my favourite comments we've ever had. Josh Smith says Lee Camp used to fist bump, but he loved it then. As soon as ever there was a problem. First of all, I don't remember Lee Camp doing it. I don't remember Lee Camp doing this.
That was before I started supporting club, mate.
Yeah, you need to remember the bad old days, Nick. That's your problem.
Listen. It's all about personal opinion, and it is. It's just like I don't care who does it, for what team, where they do. It's just horrible. I don't like it. Goes through me. It's got nothing to do with Evans doing it.
Having said all this, it's not really a big deal either way, is it?
No. Well, let's make it one. Let's make it one we've lost. We need to be negative about something. Come on. Yeah.
It's fun to talk about. It's a fun talking point.
Yeah,
and it's made me laugh. So, I hadn't talked about hacks. NSW says although hacks good, we'll talk about hacks on Thursday. Yeah, I think there is an issue positionally there with him. Tuesday night, Joy. We'll finish on this one. We've got the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. A win puts us through. I think a draw and a penalty shootout win puts us through as well, but I'd have to check that. Do you go pretty strong to confirm the qualification and then go really weak against Bradford, or do you just change it all? I mean, give Whit Williams game time, Hugo a song. How much would you change?
If it was me, I think I'd go to try and get the win to get us through. But then that's just me. But then I can see the argument for having the peripheral players in the match as well. It depends how Evans sees it as part of our season moving forward, whether he wants to put our eggs in the Bristol Street Motors basket or whether he sees it as a support for our league performances by getting peripheral players an opportunity.
Yeah. Harry says he wants to see Holmes, Hatton, Duncan, Jules, and a song. Evans has talked down Duncan getting some game time. Although nice to see him on bench, just for us as fans to be kind of interested. Tom K, he's hinted at going strong, so he won't disrespect the cup. I think he sort of wanted last time, and I think he maybe wants a piece of that. Understandably as well, I think he wants a piece of that. We'll probably see Phillips back in. I suspect that will be what happens, but we'll see. Mick You want to win every single game, but where do you sit on Tuesday? A win gets you through, doesn't it? So
yeah, I don't care.
Cool.
I don't care. Get some minutes into other players' legs. I listen. If we get to Wembley, I'll be there. Like the sort of pound shop Wednesday fan that I am. You know what I mean? Well, if we're successful, I'll be all over it. But I don't care. It's
at this stage of the competition, anyway.
Yeah, this stage of the competition, it's about getting minutes into players that are not getting the minutes, and for the coaching staff to try something a little bit different, perhaps. So I managed to even stop myself saying anything sarcastic after that comment, which I think is a success. So yeah, I don't care what he does. Genuinely, I'm not bothered. Just get some minutes into players that are on the fringes at the moment.
Well, the question would be then, what do you do with Clark Harris? Because he's not fit.
Rest him because he's injured. What you do with a normal player who's injured, any other player that's injured, rest him until he's not injured anymore. I mean,
but if it's a fitness issue, he needs to play to get fit.
Is it a fitness issue or is it an injury issue?
I don't know. Well,
if it was a fitness issue, given the amount of time that's passed between the beginning of the season and now, then that would have been dealt with. It was allegedly injured last week or the week before, whenever it was. It should be pre-Shrewsbury game, I think, wasn't it?
Yes.
He's clearly carrying a knock. We said that right from the beginning of the season. Rest him until he's fully fit, and give some other players the opportunity.
Yeah. We'll go
play on Tuesday.
We'll do a couple of predictions. We're not going to. This don't count towards the prediction league. We'll do a table for that. Mick, Joy, and Tom all predicted 2-1. So all three of you get 3 points. Mick's top of the table. So Nick's.
Come on.
I'll do the table for Thursday, but the league table has got a gap.
Listen, you need to be careful with this. I need to start thinking this through, because if I stay top at the table much longer, people are going to think I know what I'm talking about.
Don't worry about that.
Then where are we going to be?
We absolutely won't think that. Don't worry.
All right, that's all right.
Joy, it's against Newcastle under 21s, so we have no reference. They drew but won the penalty shootout against Mansfield, and I think it was their first tie, and then lost to Bradford. So how do you think they're going to get on tonight on Tuesday night?
Well, I'm hoping we win. Like we said, we've got no yardstick, have we? It depends how Evans sees it and what he wants to achieve, and what he wants to achieve using this competition. Like we said, whether it gets the peripheral players in, or he wants to win to get through to the next knockout stage. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on Tuesday.
Yeah,
I'd like to think that we could win.
What would you reckon as a score prediction?
Oh, let's go for real. Let's go 4-1 to us.
There we go. That's what we need. Mick?
0-0. We'll win on penalties.
0-0 win on penalties.
Yeah, man.
Okay, fair enough. Winning the group does help. You get a home tie in the last 16. So winning and then beating Bradford would guarantee a home tie. But you'll get through push to the second place anyway. Harry asked about FA Cup. FA Cup draws a week on Monday. The fourth round is on next weekend, so a draw is on Monday. That is on the 2nd or 3rd of November. The ties are played, but we'll cover that next week. We'll see who's left in it, see what glamour ties there are available in the first round. We'll go from there. Anything else we need to mention? We've gone really, really long tonight, so apologies. Is it too long? That's too negative, that, Mick. Stop being negative. Come on.
Can I mention something?
Absolutely.
How well Mr. McGuckin seems to be performing, banging him in at Yeovil.
Yep, 2-2. I saw one of those tweets from a Yeovil fan saying, "Never fall in love with a lone player." Yeah, I'm buzzing for him because he's a terrible time with injury over the last couple of years, and then kind of getting stuck with us last season when he should have gone out on loan. So I'm really, really happy for him. I'll check in with the Yeovil podcast at some point and see how he's doing, but it seems like he's doing very, very, very well. Neil Taylor says, great podcast again, chaps. Just voted for New York Talk on the best club talk career. Thank you, everybody. Tom Hayes. Hey, Tom's in the comments. He could have been on the show. Tom, where are you, lad? Come on, man. So I've posted the link in the comments for the Football Content Awards. If you haven't done so already, please do vote for New York Talk. That is in the club content creator in the Football League. There's just 1 week left, so next Sunday will be the last time we ask you to vote. So please do so if you haven't done so already. If we're too negative for you, just don't watch. Anyway. Well, vote anyway, but just feel free not to watch if it's too negative for you. You don't have to watch; it's fine. There's a few other people that seem to quite enjoy the show, so if it's too negative, if you want some instructions how to unfollow us on Twitter as well, I can Google some instructions for you. That is available. We're providing services wherever possible. So I don't know why Tom's doing this, but Tom says his laptop's died and he's left his charger at home. So everybody pile on Tom. They're not. Yeah. We've held the fort. I think we've done all right tonight. Most positive. Again, make sure you do vote on there, which is the week left. Make sure you've subscribed if you haven't done so already on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Cheryl Stone saying, remember to like the show as well. If you're listening on iTunes and Spotify, make sure you give us a 5-star rating as well. And make sure you subscribe and follow us as well. If you like negativity, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. You know what to do. I've enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed this show tonight. So thank you, everybody who has been with us tonight. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Joy. It's been a good one tonight. Thank you. We will see you all next time. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
I think I always made the comment that once a Miller, always a Miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good heavens, he's done it again! Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office and we're going to drink them all night.
Do me a favor, drop me off in